Hey there, how are you? I'm coming to you with another patriotic project that I hope you're gonna love. I think you will. I love this one. So come check it out. This is Land That I Love. And we are going to be using the rustic round tonight. I already pre-taped it off because I was a little concerned. We're also going to throw in the thin, thick stripes, and let me see if I can show you this without it's upside down. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so 3 transfers that are all in my face. Okay, so let's get to it. Let me see if I can find this. So I've got a couple different paints here. This one is Provincial Blue. It's just regular chalk paint. I'm gonna paint, oh gosh. No one wants to hear that. So 1 second. Okay, here we go. So I taped it off a little bit different than normal. Let me see, where's the hole? Okay, just a little bit sideways, okay? So we're gonna paint the top blue, bottom white, okay? So we have to double tape it actually. Hi Joni, hey Alma, how are you ladies? Oh no, I didn't realize I'd never used this paint before, so. This one is super bright blue. I'm really excited about that. And of course I'm getting it all over myself here. Okay, so look how pretty that is. I'm gonna just try and do a thin layer. I did tape this off before. I'm just using regular painter's tape. You can use painter's tape, you can use placement tape, whatever works for you. I am nearly out of placement tape and I am almost done unpacking my craft room. I got all my transfers unpacked today, but my accessories are still in a box because I need a storage solution for them. So I have not unpacked those quite yet. Hi Lisa, hey Sue, welcome ladies, how are you? You can, let me see, I don't know why that's not working. Let me just make sure I'm connected to the right one. Yeah, I am, I thought. Lisa, can you try one more time to comment the word welcome and see if that works? I don't know if I'm just behind. It looks like it's activated though. Hi Deborah, how are you, love? Okay, oh, well, hold on, don't comment it yet. I'm a mess tonight, y'all. Okay, now whenever you comment welcome, it should work. So you might need to do it. 3rd time's a charm. I'm sorry. I know that's annoying. We've been having some issues around here though. There's something going on one of our breakers. I think that like I don't know, something's happening, that something's tripping one of the breakers. And so I'm hoping that it's a problem with the breaker that we were using. So Chris switched it out right before I did my live. And of course he's like, I'm gonna do it right now. And I'm like, okay, but I need to do my live in 5 minutes, my friend. Perfect. I'm happy to hear that. Lisa, thank you for your patience. How are you? Hey Denise, how are you? Hi Stephanie, what's going on? All right. So he switched that out right before my live started, and I'm like, excuse me, my live is starting in like 5 minutes here. And he said, oh, I'll be quick. And so, yeah, that's what I've been dealing with. While I was cooking dinner earlier, the lights went out like 4 times. All coming like, so part of the kitchen lights are on the same breaker as the, what is considered the office, but we're using it as his game room, which is where my modem is. Not a great situation, because if it goes out, then my Wi-Fi goes out, just like we experienced the other night, and that is a no-go for me. So I'm using my other phone, so hopefully I won't have that problem. Okay, so there's my blue. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this tape while it's still wet, and then we're gonna dry it, and we're going to tape it off down here. so that we can paint white, okay? Ooh, that's a good line. That is a fresh line right there. I love it. Now, dry this really well. And y'all, I'm so close to being done unpacking everything. It feels really good. I have like some kind of a piece of wire from ribbon, from all this ribbon that I've been cutting up here on my desk, stuck in my paint. So I had to get that out before I dried it in there. So I'm going to make sure that this is all the way completely, totally dry before I move on, because I'm going to have to put tape over this line. And I'm going to go ahead and wax it, because I'm going to need to wax this area anyways to do my stars. So I might as well just knock it out, right? And then that way, hopefully my tape won't pull up my paint. It's painter's tape, so if it pulls up the paint, then we have bigger problems, but hopefully not. So just using a little bit of wax and my wax applicator. Now I'm gonna buff this on here really, really well. And I'm just using very little, okay? You don't wanna go in with a lot. If you do, your paste is not, your transfer is not gonna wanna stick, okay? And your paste is not gonna stick. So if you ever have an issue where you put down a transfer and the paste just doesn't want to stick to it, first thing to check is your paste too dry? Okay, second thing is how much wax did you use? If you used a bunch of wax and it looks like the paste dried in the transfer, then it's probably too much wax. So there's that. You can kind of see the buff marks from where my surface wax is. Now, I am going to put this other piece of tape down right along that line, okay? Try to line that up just perfect, so that I get a really good white line, right, that butts right up to the blue, okay? And I'm gonna use this bright white. Hopefully I can open it. This jar is always hard to open. Luckily, it opened fine this time. I think I opened it a couple days ago, so that's probably why, but that bottle for some reason is difficult. So I was thinking about maybe using like a not so bright white, but I do want this to be red, white, and blue, so I figured why not let me make sure that it's bright white, because I was thinking maybe like the inspiration. So this is not my idea at all, okay? Somebody else did this exact project, so don't credit me for the idea. But it looked like she used a little bit of a more cream type color down here for the white, and I really liked that, okay? But I think a bright white is perfect. Hey Gwen, how are you? Welcome. So you can comment the word welcome to get all the stuff to make this. Now I think I'm gonna spray a little bit of water on my brush because my paint is kind of thick. It's a little too thick for my taste, so. One of my friends who's like a painting genius, gave me the recommendation to add a little bit of water to acrylic paint, which is exactly what this is. It's acrylic, to help it be a little more smooth. So that's what I'm gonna do, just a little. Oh, that's better. There we go. All right. Now this is the rustic round. You can get it in my shop. We are going to use 3 transfers tonight. And this should be a really fun one. Okay, I'm gonna do this water trick again. Should have gotten more paint probably the first and second times, but that's okay. We'll make do with what we got. Okay, here we go. So cross your fingers for me that this whole breaker situation works out, and that we don't pop the breaker again tonight. I am gonna go tomorrow and buy another one to replace the one that we think might be faulty, because there's nothing going on in his game room that's like really that big of a deal that it should be busting the breaker. And I'm thinking, so we did a little bit of a test earlier, and he turned off everything in that room and came out and nothing happened, okay, for like several hours that he was out of the room. And then as soon as he goes back in there and starts playing on his PlayStation again, turned on the TV, all that good stuff, it popped the breaker again. So what I think is happening is something about that TV and the PlayStation, but oh no. Y'all, don't be a messy painter, okay? I just dripped white on my blue. Okay, so I'm gonna try and go over this one more time and not make a huge mess. I'm trying my best, but I can't make any promises. I think that might be a little more than I can handle, making a promise like that. Also trying my best not to get this paint on my shirt. There's a lot going on here. And so this weekend we are going to be getting my Fender, my new laser set up in my craft room, in my office. I got to get my craft room finished, or at least finished enough to where I'm functional. Right now I'm like halfway, mostly there, more than halfway, but I have a pile of stuff that I have to like walk around. So now I've got the closet cleaned out in here, so I want to start transferring the stuff that's going to go in there. I have some more shelves that I want to set up to use for storage, and then I want to go get some like adjustable shelves that go on the wall. Well, I think it has too much going on through that breaker, but it's interesting to me because we had a very similar setup at our other house and never had an issue like that. Not in his room, because he doesn't really have too much. And the first time it happened, there was literally nothing except the TV on in there. And so that's what's really weird, is it's not like it's a fridge or something like that that is an obvious issue. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm hoping it's just the breaker and I don't have to call those electricians back out, because electricians are expensive and they don't clean up their own messes. I always have to vacuum after they come, and that is aggravating to me. Okay. All right, here we are. I still haven't cleaned out my paint cup, y'all. I am a pig. Okay, so there's my white. Not quite dry yet, but I'm gonna take off the paint while it is still wet. And that's what we have so far. Okay, so let me dry this. Put this white away. It's dangerous to have this bottle of white paint here. It's like, this lid is a janky. It does not ever want to open or close for me. Hey Deborah, how are you? Okay, so gonna use my dryer. You can comment the word welcome to get all the stuff to make this. We are gonna use surface wax one more time on the white side, just to be sure that we don't have any issues over here with paint pulling up or any stuff like that, okay? No, so the fridge is not actually even plugged in his room. I thought it was, but it was not. He confirmed that earlier while we were on the phone, me and you, Sue. And no, we don't have any ice maker. And the only thing in the kitchen that's connected to that breaker is the lights in there. So the oven is on its own, the dishwasher, the disposal, all that stuff are all on a separate, on their own breakers. I don't know what the issue is. But we're going to figure it out. And of course, I was on the phone with my parents too earlier whenever it first happened, or I guess after you and I talked earlier, Sue. I was talking to my parents while they're on their way up to the ranch. And my dad said, you know, he thinks that we should just try and replace the breaker first and see if that fixes it. And if it doesn't, then we can look at other issues from there. So we're going to start easy and cheap because the breaker's not real expensive. So I would like to do the cheap route first instead of paying a lot of money to have a guy come out and tell me the same thing I could do myself. All right, so here's what we've got. We're going to use the Land That I Love transfer first for the stars up here. And I think I might want to use this this eagle possibly some other time, but not tonight. Okay, I'm not going to cut this apart either. This is a cut apart. It has many parts. I don't want to do that. I would like to keep it all intact. So what I'm going to do is, yeah, so I'm using my work phone, and I have like a screen protector on my phone, and so it's messed up because it's covering the camera partially. I'm sorry about that. That's why I moved it down a little bit so that it wouldn't be messing with my project. So I know that's annoying, but I didn't want to end up having an issue where the modem turns off if the breaker goes out again, and the new one that he just switched out, and losing my live and having it come back. But yeah, I'm aware of it, and I need to just switch out. I have another screen cover I need to just put on there. Okay, so I fuzz this a couple times. I'm gonna just put this right over here, and I think I would like to kind of make this diagonal-ish. Okay, so I'm gonna do a couple of these stars at a time. I don't know if you can see that. I just have 4 of them stuck on here right now. So we're gonna obviously use bright white. Yeah, it's me, sorry, I know, it's annoying. I noticed it earlier when I first was gonna start my live, and I'm like, oh no, but I couldn't help it tonight. I will have it fixed tomorrow though. Because I know I can see it over here too, and it's aggravating. Okay, so I'm gonna try and pick up all the paste I can on here so I don't leave a bunch down. And y'all, as you can see, I just stuck this to itself. Not a big deal. I can show you after this how you go about unsticking it, okay? It's really not a big deal at all, so let's not even worry about it. Okay, so let's dry this real quick. Oh, I hope you're not going blind. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I think I want to do another star right here too. So let's see if we can. figure out how to line this up here. So we are gonna have a bow that's gonna take some space here. So I don't necessarily have to cover up every single square inch of this blue space with stars, but I absolutely could if I need to, okay? These transfers are reusable. It's not just a one and done. You can absolutely use it again and again. And if you want to, you can wash it in between uses if you need to. I'm gonna try and do all 6 of these. There we go. Okay. And again, with the bright white, just grabbing a little bit of paste here and hitting up each of these stars. All right, so there's that, and I might even want to do another one right here, but I absolutely want to do one right here because it's missing one. And I'm thinking these stars might be the same size, so let me just look at that. There's another set of stars on here. They are, okay, so we're gonna go one more here. And again, you can cut this transfer apart if you want, if it makes it easier for you to mess with it. But for me, I can just maneuver it around, okay? And then that way I don't have a bunch of little pieces that I've cut, and now I have to keep track of a bunch of little pieces. Hi Linda, how are you? What's going on? All right, make sure that's dry. And then I want to do one more. Like up here. Okay, and then should be pretty simple to get that one in there. Pull that up. And I feel like I can fit one right here. There we go. All right. Perfect. Now, I have my transfer. I'll set this over here, but if you haven't, if you've gotten your transfer stuck to itself, okay, let me just show you this real quick before I throw this down, okay? So I'm gonna just take this and I'm gonna spray it just a little bit with water, okay? And that's going to give it a little bit of lubrication so that you can pull it apart, okay? Now, you can go to the sink if this happens to you. Go right to the sink and do this under the sink with running water. And I promise you, you won't mess up your transfer, okay? Just slow and easy. Pull it apart very gently, okay? And just keep on adding water. You want to be real careful because since the transfer, the sticky part is very sensitive, okay? And it is super sticky, okay? But as you can see, once it gets wet, it's not so sticky anymore. So it just releases that stickiness with the water. And then whenever it dries, that stickiness comes back. Now, I pulled that apart with water. Everything's good to go. I'm gonna set this right over there. And I'm gonna clean up my surface so that it's not wet here. And bring back my rustic brown. So that's where we are right now, okay? And then I've already waxed this surface. So we're gonna use the Welcome transfer, okay? And I really love that one, but I think we're gonna go with the big welcome. Okay, hi Jocelyn, how are you? Thank you, I hope you love it. Now I didn't cover this entire blue part with stars because we are going to have a big bow. So there's no point. In fact, let me make sure. Yeah. Turn on my glue gun now so that it's nice and ready. Okay, so I literally have not opened this yet. You can comment the word welcome to get all the supplies to make this. They're all from my shop, not using anything extra. Even the surface is from my shop tonight. All you need to add to it is make sure you have paste, which is buy 3, get 1 free this month, okay? So you can add as many jars as you want to get that buy 3, get 1 free. Now I am going to cut this because this one is huge and I don't want to have to deal with all that, okay? But I'm not going to cut all the individual pieces out. Just this one part of the welcome, okay? Just like that. Okay, now I have a much more manageable piece. And I'm going to fuzz this really well. Again, I already waxed. If you don't have surface wax, you can also grab that in my shop. Whenever you get the link, it will only have the transfers and the surface that I'm using. You'll have to add any extras, okay? No, so Saucy is not available anymore. If you missed it, it's gone. It sold out fast, y'all. So unfortunately, no, Alma, it does not. No, so the Saucy was only available with the $75 purchase. You could add it to your cart, but it's not available anymore. But if you're a current club member, if you have a $75 purchase, you will get a free color case with your order. So you can cash in on that deal. And that is still available. All right, so I'm gonna just push this down here. And I think I didn't pull out black paste, but we are going to, you know, I gotta use shimmer shadow, right? Is that a given? Because I think it should be. Yeah, no problem. But yeah, whenever you place an order for $75, you get a free color case. And y'all, that color of the month is going fast, okay? So if you see one that you like, you're gonna need to snag it up, because if you don't, you're gonna be sorry about it whenever it goes out of stock before the month is over. And I'm sorry about that. I really am, because with moving and everything this month, I have been not paying as much attention as I should have. I actually placed my first order this month late, and I was afraid I wasn't gonna get it because I messed around, and then by the time I was actually ready to do a live with it, it was gone. So I want it. I'm gonna keep it because I love the color. But I didn't even get to use it on a live, and that makes me really sad, so. Excuse me, my throat is dry. I think whenever I have the fan on in here, so Chris was being loud earlier because he was a little grumpy. I asked him to wait to play his game, to start playing his game until after I get done with my live, and so the TV was up too loud. Once I started my live, so I had to close the door, and look how pretty that looks. And turn on the fan in here, and every time the fan is on, my throat gets like itchy. Also, I dyed my hair today. What do y'all think about it? No more grays for the time being. Let's see. So this is a new hair dye that I'm using. And I'm hoping that I can keep from having grays coming through for longer than what is normal. Because normally, it's been like a couple weeks and then grays pop through. So I just quit dyeing my hair because it was pointless. So I'm hoping this time will actually last. Alright. Hopefully that's good. Okay, so now this is the thin, thick woven stripe. Love this transfer. See if we can get that out of the package. Now this one is another one that's bulky, okay? Now you could trim this down, okay? And not have to have the whole thing be a single piece, okay? You can do what you need it to be, all right? Make it what you need it to be. And if you want to have one that's whole and one that's not, then do that, okay? Now, I was going to put it on this fuzzing cloth, but I don't even think I'm going to do that. I think what I'm going to do, because I don't need that much of it, is just like this, okay? So now, I'm going to want to line that up with the welcome, okay? So that I'm not all crooked. And this is what's going to be hard for me. Okay, so I'm going to push this down really good. I did not put it on the fuzzing cloth because number one, this one has a lot of silk screen. I don't want to add any more fuzz to it. I want it to stick as well as possible. And I just need this little bit, okay? So I think that should work okay. We're gonna use candy apple, okay? And apparently, I thought I had, you know, I haven't washed any of my squeegees because I'm a nightmare, okay? I forgot to do it last night. I know I talked about it, and then I left this room and completely like spaced what we were just talking about. So I've got to do it tonight because this is like the last squeegee in my little cup over there. Besides that little tiny one, and I can't get away with just a little tiny one, so. Also, I need to hurry up because the fan's on in here, so it's gonna dry my paste out faster. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a thicker layer than I normally would. And then I can go back and scrape it off, okay? That will help me not have it dry so fast. Just like that. And then I'm just gonna go back and quickly scrape up the excess. And oh my gosh. Y'all, when I tell you that I love this, I hope you do too, okay? Look how good that looks so far. Comment the word welcome. Get it to make for yourself, okay? Now, I'm gonna make sure I close this because this fan is just going in here. All right, now we're gonna talk about a bow, okay? We've got to have a big old bow on here. This is America. Everything is, and I'm in Texas, so everything's bigger in Texas for sure. Now, I have a bunch of those ribbons that I had last night. I'm gonna cut about that long piece of ribbon from each of these. I might cut more than that. Okay, each of them is going to be on here. I might do a couple pieces of each, actually. We'll see how much I have by the time it's all said and done. I don't know how long that is. I watched a video tutorial. The girl said 12 inches. I Still haven't put my little mat up here. I did find it in a box, so that's good news with my ruler on it. But hi Marie, thank you. Glad you like this. Thank you, Linda. But definitely probably measure it, because these are, I have no idea what 12 inches is, okay? As I say all the time, men have been lying to me my whole life about what 6 inches is. So I have no idea about measurements, okay? Now, I think I want to do 2 of each of these, okay? So let's just do that real quick. I should have probably pre-cut these. I apologize. But as I said, we were having electrical issues moments before. Isn't it great? I'm glad you like it, Anita. Thank you. So happy to see you on tonight. Yeah, I'm loving this one too. I currently have so I don't know if y'all have seen it, but I got one of those wood flower wreaths that is like red, white, and blue flowers from Tuesday Morning, which I don't know if y'all are aware, but Tuesday Morning is going out of business near me. I am so sad about it, because I literally just got here. I love that store, and it's going out of business, but I was able to get that on sale. And it's on my front door, but this might be competing for front door space, because I think I like this one more. Which is crazy, because that other one is so pretty. I'll have to share a picture with y'all. But if you see one of those wood flower wreaths, they're gorgeous. And they look like they're so like delicate, but I don't think they are, honestly, because I mean, mine is in between the screen door and the front door, but oops, it made it home with me okay. All right. And I'm not a gentle person. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it into, like, fold 1/3 of it. And then I'm going to bunch it right there. Okay, and I'm going to hold on to that. And then I'm going to take the next one and do the same exact thing. And I'm going to hold on to it. And again. So this bow is super easy. And again, I'm leaving a little bit of a tail. All right. And again, now the longer your ribbons are, the bigger your bow is going to be. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I just flipped that one over the wrong way. And I'm trying to mix in my ribbons so that 2 that are the same are not next to each other, or too close to each other, I guess. And I'm just holding on to these all together. And once we get it all put together, then we'll come back and fluff it all up. Okay, so don't worry about that. I'll put this one over there. And I have 2 more. So let's see. I need this one over here. Oh, well, there we go. Okay, so now I have a big bouquet of ribbon. I'm gonna take one of my little zip ties. This one's probably a 6-inch one. I have several sizes over there. Usually I use 4-inch ones for my other bows, but I just happen to have that one and it's longer, so that's helpful. Okay, so I just tightened it as much as I possibly could. I'm gonna trim it with wire cutters. I really don't want to use my scissors for that, because I'm not trying to break my scissors, okay? So there's my bow, and then, because I just trimmed these, y'all, I'm a mess, okay? We're gonna just trim all of our tails at the same time. Obviously, I could have done this before if I prepped more than just a little for this live, but I did not, okay? It's so easy. I literally watched like a 1-minute tutorial a second ago because I recall one of my girlfriends makes bows just like this all the time. And every time that I see her do it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so simple. Like, I can do that. And then a while goes on and I forget entirely how she did it. But today's the day, my friends. Hi, Shanna. How are you? Welcome. Okay. Yeah, Bed Bath & Beyond is going too. This is wild. Closed up and left Washington. Yeah, so I've been seeing that. And I didn't think Tuesday Morning was still around, honestly. But there's one by my house that I saw whenever me and my mom went shopping that first weekend that I was home. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited because I love that store. It's so great. Luckily, I got to shop there one time before they actually closed the doors. So, or before they're not, I don't think they're officially closed quite yet, but before they actually started selling like everything in the store at a discount. So I got to pick what I wanted first. And then I went again last weekend and got some other stuff. So now I am noticing that some of my ribbon is upside down, so I'm having to kind of twist it, but I'm just pulling it all up so that this is going to sit flat, okay? So we're going to twist it and aim it up and make the bottom flat, okay? Just like that. Now, that's why you want to use wired ribbon, okay? No. And then you can just fluff up the bow part, easy, easy. Super simple to do that part once you get it onto your board, okay? So, look how easy that bow was. Did you know that I was going to be doing a bow tutorial tonight? Because I didn't, I mean I did, but I didn't realize that it was going to turn out this fabulous. Look how great it looks. I mean, I'm digging that. Okay. Okay, so now I want that. Oh yeah, that's just perfect. Oh my goodness, yes. All right, I have my hot glue gun nice and hot. I also saw something the other day that there's a lady that doesn't use glue for her bows and to put bows and like embellishments down. She uses a stapler, which I love that idea too. So one of these days I might have to give that one a go. Okay, so obviously I did not use enough glue on this, okay, but we are going to come back, add more right in here, and press that bad boy down, okay? Now we're gonna have to fix up our bow here in just a second to make sure that we're not, obviously we don't want a smushy bow, right? But that's the beauty of wired ribbon. Okay. Just get it all poofed up. And let's see if that sticks. Okay, so I do kind of want to move this up just a little bit so that we're not covering up the welcome. Okay, but you can arrange your tails and all that good stuff after. Now, I need a hanger. So you know, I love this trusty jute. And this thick jute is great because you only need one little loop of it. But so there is my finished door hanger. Isn't that great? You can comment the word welcome to get all the stuff to make this tonight. And I really hope you love this, y'all. I am super impressed. I hope you all are too. Let me see. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that y'all like this. Isn't it so pretty? So let me know if you love it, and make sure that you comment welcome and then check your messages, okay? All right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really, really appreciate this. I will post a photo of this in my VIP here in just a little while, so if you're not in there yet, you can also comment the word welcome. Get the link to get in there, okay? I'll see you all later. Have a great night.